Hi, and good morning, and welcome to Unity Athens. Namaste, and pleasant day, and hip hooray, and anything else that rhymes with that. You are here with us in Athens, Georgia, at the beautiful Bells Plaza, next to the Project Safe store. And who do we have with us for music today? Why, it is Jennifer Farron. She's going to get us started. Thank you for being with us. If you would like to put up a heart or anything on your screen, do that, or let us know if you're visiting for the first time. And here we go.
Here's a song by my girlfriend Terry Wilder in San Diego, California. It's called I Choose Joy. When the walls come tumbling down, I choose joy. I choose joy. When the world stops spinning round, I choose joy. I choose joy. When my heart is hard to move, and when my music's lost its groove, when I have too much to prove, I choose joy. I choose joy. Well, when hate is all I see, I choose joy. I choose joy. When fear won't let me be, I choose joy. I choose joy. When betrayal and lies hide the light from my eyes, oh, I look down deep inside, and I choose joy. I choose joy. Joy, 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 joy. I choose joy. Joy, 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 joy. I choose joy. In this moment right here, I choose joy. I choose joy. For the ones that I hold dear, I choose joy. I choose joy. For to be who I might be, for the light to shine in me, for the truth that sets me free, I choose joy. I choose joy. For the truth that sets me free, I choose joy. I choose joy.
And for our opening prayer this morning, our prayer chaplain, trainer, coordinator, and LUT candidate, and very close to, yeah, she's certified now even. Yes, let's give Peggy a hand for all of that. For our opening prayer.
It's on. Is it on? It's on. Good morning. So, let's choose joy. I love that song. It just felt good all through. So, taking a deep breath now, relaxing. Maybe putting your hands on your heart space. Just see your breath going in and out of your heart. Feel it. Feel that warm, beautiful, that feeling of connection. How joyous and how wonderful, divine Father, Mother, God, that we can take a few breaths, turn within, and be in the one power and the one presence. This morning we are so grateful for the sunshine, for Jennifer at the piano, for Bronte and Kevin, for all the ones that came out to be in the chairs, and for every single person who's watching us or listening to us through technology. We are so blessed to be able to expand and grow, to send out our energy of love and peace, of harmony, sending out health and healing, comfort to all those who might need a touch, a loving touch. We see blankets of comfort, blankets of healing, and we lift it up into a higher vibration now, into blankets of love, life, light, and we see peace, joy, and absolute good. We are blessed in so many ways, and we are thankful, so very thankful. We say thank you, God. So be it, and so it is. Amen. I'm going to go ahead with the daily word. I love the daily word today. I read it early this morning. I get to read it again. Protected. Through my oneness with God, I feel protected. Sometimes I may feel at the mercy of changing, tumultuous world I cannot control. This is never true. Even though the chaos of the world may swirl around me, at the center of my being is a place of perfect peace and calm. Whenever I am in need of a safe refuge, I turn to God within to reach this place of tranquility and reclaim my feeling of security and protection. The sun always rises after the longest, darkest night. I remind myself of this truth and feel grateful as I follow the light of spiritual understanding to release and reclaim whatever power I may have unwittingly given to a fear-based thought. Fully in tune with the divine presence within me, I move safely and confidently through every challenging circumstance. The Bible reading for that is, "The one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world." That is 1 John 4:4. And while I was reading that, it came to mind to say to everybody that the World Day of Prayer, the Unity World Day of Prayer, which we celebrate here at Unity Athens every year, always takes place around the 8th and 9th of September. And that's exactly when it is, starting on the evening of the 8th and going through the 9th. We will not be having anything in person here at Unity Athens, but please, the theme this year is "No matter what, all is well with my soul." It sort of goes along with feeling totally guided, guarded, and protected. So the online presence for that is at Unity Worldwide Headquarters, Silent Unity, and we'll be happy to help you connect with that if you're having any difficulty finding it. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. What a beautiful opening prayer and reading of the daily word. And thank you for the reminder about World Day of Prayer. That's an important part of Unity and our teachings. For our Unity Nugget today, I'm going to read from one of the most recent to come out booklets from Unity World Headquarters, which is the publishing part of the publishing division. This is a booklet called Messages We Need to Hear. Kind of interesting title, because like, you need to hear this, Bronte. But we do need to hear some of these messages, and every one that I've been reading is just spot on. It's from the writings of Martha Cook, who was a
Smart.
I'm looking at Martha Cook right here in our congregation and saying, not Martha Smock. So yes, Martha Smock And she was head of the Daily Word. She was editor for many years and contemporary with James Dillett Freeman. So this titled, No Other Way. Could we but see the pattern of our days, we should discern how devious were the ways by which we came to this, the present time. And I'm going to be talking about this in the message today. This place in life, and we should see the climb our soul has made up through the years. We should forget the hurts, the wanderings, the fears, the wastelands of our life, and know that we could come no other way or grow into our good without these steps our feet found hard to take, our faith found hard to meet. The road of life winds on, and we, like travelers, go from turn to turn until we come to know the truth that life is endless and that we forever are inhabitants of all eternity. Isn't that beautiful? These booklets are always free if you stop in at Unity Athens. You can also get them free online at unity.org, publications, booklets, and then fill out a little form and they will either send you one in the mail free or you can download it if you like PDFs. We also have 2 other booklets that are just out. One of them is The Power of Prayer, and the other one is The Spirit of Family, Faith, Inspiration, and Healing. And for those of you that are here today, they are all available on the table over there. I know we have an enormous crowd here today, so please get in line with your mask on. I have an invisible mask on today. Can you believe how great they make these masks nowadays? You would just guess that I don't have a mask on. And Jennifer has the same kind, except hers is really large. You got a shield on. Time for announcements. Yay, announcements. And thank you, Peggy, for mentioning World Day of Prayer. I'm going to try to mention at least 2 of the 3 classes that you've got coming up, and please feel free to jump in and correct me, or if you want to, go ahead and explain them yourself. Okay, well, I'll do my best. So, Peggy has started a morning for morning bookworms, early risers, early bookworms, and that is starting on, it'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays, starting
The 17th of August.
17th of August from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. It's not going to be held here. It'll be a Zoom, and yes, that's not a time I'm usually up, but there are early risers, and I think it's a beautiful idea. It's for prayer and talking about books.
Study, yeah.
A study of books, sharing, art sharing is always a great thing.
Bring your coffee.
Bring your own coffee, or tea,
Or chocolate.
or crumpets, or chocolate.
Or
Kool-Aid. So know that, and you need to get in touch with Peggy, and that would be Peggy Olson 5555@aol.com. How good is that? Okay. Another class she's going to be leading starts on
that Tuesday before the Wednesday after that.
the Wednesday of that week.
The 18th.
Okay, and look in your latest copy of the e-newsletter that gets sent out on Fridays that has all the details. And that book is
Living the Mystical Life Today by Jim Roseberry.
Living the Mystical Life Today by Jim Roseberry. So that's going to be fabulous and fantastic. That will also be on Zoom.
And it'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 until 8 p.m. And she'll have another class, but we'll give you details of that in the newsletter because that starts in October. Awesome sauce. Yay. Also, our project for the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, on finding ways to make a difference in the appearance of all the tragedy and passings in the opioid epidemic. We try to put the Unity swing on that because it's an appearance of, and it's causing so many difficulties and so many passings. We are doing a project here on Thursday, August 19th, We thought that there would probably be a larger in-person presence, but due to new mask mandates and some rise in the science numbers, we're going to do it in person for those that can be here, and it'll be zoomed, that won't be zoomed, it'll be Facebook Live that night and recorded separately for YouTube. What is that about? It's going to be from 6:45 until 8 that evening. There'll be some education about what we can do to make a difference in this epidemic, the knowledge of how to help others, the knowledge how to support each other, to take some of the shame away from people that are dealing with addiction or recovery, to bring comfort to those that are so worried about dear ones, loved ones, and to bring some rest and some peace to those that may have had the passing of dear ones because of addiction and overdoses and medication issues with the opioids. It's very specific on that. We're delighted to be funded by the Clinton Foundation, the Georgia Council for Substance Abuse, and several other agencies, and I've been in training for this since early in the year, and it's a wonderful project, and we're really delighted with the Clinton Foundation for funding it for UnityAthens. So lots of info in that very long paragraph, and I hope that you'll be able to join us that evening. We'll be having a drawing that night for gift cards, and it will include being able to get a gift card through a drawing online also. I think that's the end of announcements for now because I'm running out of breath. Jennifer, we're going to have meditation in a minute. Do you have a song now, or?
I do.
Okay.
Kevin, I'm going to switch over to the phone tracks right now. It was a song written a long time ago, and it's called Tune In. This is Dr. Reverend David Alt's favorite song of mine. It's called Tune In. God is in us like the oceans in a wave. It don't matter where you come from, who you are, or how you're made. God is there to love us and never will He judge us. All we have to do is tune in. When we choose a loving voice, now that's the gift we bring. When we make a loving choice, that's when the angels sing. So how do we begin? We just tune in. God is in us like the deserts in the sand. Doesn't matter if you stumble, where you fall, or how you land. God is there and able, and helps us to be stable. And all we have to do is tune in. And when we use a loving voice, that's the gift we bring. And when we make a loving choice, that's when the angels sing. So how do we begin? We tune in. And when we use a loving voice, now that's the gift we bring. And when we make a loving choice, that's when the angels
Thank you. I'm going to develop a new type of mask that you can hold up with a stick, so I don't have to keep taking it
Kind of like
on
the
and off my.
masquerade
I
masks.
was
Yeah.
thinking of that. It's a new idea. Someone's going to run with this idea before the end of the day, and it'll be out there.
But then your air will come out.
Yeah, that's true. It'll come out the sides and up here and down there, and yes, and scare everybody. So let's move into a time of meditation. And if you're new to Unity Athens, we always include about 2 to 3 minutes of deep silence. Why? Because that, we believe, doesn't connect us more to spirit. We're already connected all the time, but it does, I believe, help us to go deeper and to realize that connection more strongly. So I'm going to step up onto the stage, and we'll have just some breathing exercises. Get comfortable, however you see that at home. Relaxing and perhaps turning off the lights, lighting a candle, having a mantra perhaps, just closing our eyes, moving into a sense of all is well. We thank you, Infinite Spirit, Divine, Holy, all that is, the I am. We bring forth a sense of gratitude. We bask in divine love. We realize we are made of divine love. We send out divine love. We recognize our connection to the divine. Our wholeness, our health. Our light. We see blessings on our world. We see hearts opening to the awareness of their eternal divinity. We turn within, deeper in the quietude. into the silence now. In the silence, there's peace. In the silence, there is unspoken joy. In the silence, there's release. Just begin to bring ourselves back to the moment when we're ready. Opening your eyes when that feels right. Taking a few more deep breaths and letting them go, and blessing those on your minds and on your hearts. Sending out light and love. It is an energy, and your light is bright, and you can send that energy out. You are a natural uplifter. You are a natural fountain of God's love. You are a healer. Your life matters. And we say thank you to whatever name we choose or essence we feel for the divine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it is. Turning on the lights when you're ready. With the breath. So Jennifer, I'm feeling very peaceful, and if you have a song that's either peppy or peaceful, gosh, is there any other option?
Hey, why don't we do Show Me the Presence? How about
Oh, I
that?
would love that. That's a nice way to come
I'm
from
gonna plug into the piano
meditation.
if you want to know real quick.
Yeah, and if you're singing, just maybe hum in your mask for now.
We'll sing it 2 times through. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can feel the touch of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can feel the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. One more time. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can feel the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
You're awesome. Awesome. Jennifer Farron is awesomeness walking in this world. So, good morning again. If you are just joining us, you're at Unity Athens on Facebook live streaming, and we are here in person, and it's so nice to have the energy of people in the room. Kevin and I have been peopling it for over a year, and it's good to have some more people peopling it, and to have Jennifer with us also. We're talking today about, title was, Will, Mysticism, and Prayer, because our spiritual faculty for the month is will, based on the 12 powers of humankind, I won't say man, by Charles Fillmore, who actually learned a lot about that from Emma Curtis Hopkins. So that'll come up a little later also, but will is, I guess, I gotta will it into being. It's more of a combination we talked about last Sunday of the will of the divine and our own will working together. And mysticism, because as I'm continuing to read more about Myrtle Fillmore, who's one of my favorite Unity founders, she and her husband Charles co-founded Unity back in the 1800s, 1889, I believe. This book is amazing, by Thomas E. Witherspoon, who spent 2 years of intense research in the files, in the archives at Unity Village, finding letters, visiting every town or city that either Charles or Myrtle lived in, going through newspapers, finding their wedding announcement, finding all sorts of details about their lives. And it really continues to bring me closer to her. I've read it several times over the years. But there's a couple of instances in here that really show the mystical nature of their relationship, and also a bit of Maya Angelou comes into that also. Myrtle, you may know some of this if you're a Unity student, was born Mary Caroline Page, and she was actually born in a little town in Ohio called Pagetown. So guess what? Yes, it was named after her family, the founders of the little town in Ohio, north of Columbus. And when she was a little girl, and I love this because I'm not comparing myself to Myrtle, but I did the same thing when I was young. I would sit outside until the outside slipped away and I just felt like I was with God. Same way as when my mother would come up to our rooms at night and pray with us, brothers and I. And after she left, I would slip behind the bed and pray by myself. in that quiet, crowded little space, but that quiet place where I just felt so connected to spirit. And she would do that. She would sit on the banks of a creek, little Walnut Creek, I believe it is, a river that was in the property, and just feel nature. And she actually felt like she was leaving existence and just being wrapped in the divine. A very intuitive, delightful young child. At the same time, 9 years later, because Charles was 9 years younger than Myrtle, he had the same type of childhood, but he just wanted to grow up and be a cowboy, which he did for a little bit. But kind of a different home, just one brother up in northern Minnesota. Now, how would these two people ever connect? You know, and how, when they did meet, did they have so much in common? Well, Myrtle loved to study. She loved books. She loved going to school. She, at that time, we're talking, she was born in 1845, maybe 1846. There was a little discrepancy in the family on what year it was. But she was born on August 6th, and we've just celebrated her birthday. Charles was born right on the cusp, later in the month of August. But she loved books, but at that time, young girls weren't given the same books young boys were. So she would just get basic math. So she would take her brother's books, there were 9 kids in her family, and study physics and higher algebra and trigonometry. She loved Shakespeare. She loved reading the literature of the famous and the not so well known. She went on to Oberlin College and studied there. Again, quite accomplishment in the 1800s for anyone to go on to school like that. Now Charles, some of you may know that he had one leg that was shorter than the other. It was from a skating incident, ice skating, when he was young, and hurt his hip and his upper leg, and the doctors, using pretty primitive methods at the time, botched the surgery, and he had an open wound in his leg for years. And one leg was 4 inches shorter than the other. But he couldn't go to public school because of that. He had to watch the wound and everything. So he had a good friend who also couldn't go to school, who was being tutored by the mother. And Charles begged, because he wanted to learn too, he begged to be also tutored by his friend's mother. And so with his friend and this mother, they studied Shakespeare and literature and higher math. Why? Because the mother was a graduate of Oberlin College. At the same time, Charles was studying as a young boy, at about 10, 11, 12, 9 years older, Myrtle was studying at Oberlin College. You feel that, it feels so mystical to me. And this came up later when they met in a literary gathering in Denison, Texas. So there was that. But there was another thing that I've been thinking about lately. It's well known that Myrtle had tuberculosis. She was ill as a child. She believed it was passed down from her father, that she inherited the dis-ease or the ability to have it, and struggled with it for many years. At points she was coughing blood and really, really ill. One point the doctors gave her only a few months to live. But after she and Charles met, and she was kind of always feeling a little more God-centered when you look at the history of it at that point. Charles was all about making money, succeeding in the world, real estate, and things with the trains that were going on. They lived in Colorado for a while. Myrtle was all about God and spirit. And she happened to go to a lecture, you've probably heard of this, by E.B. Weeks. And that lecture, Dr. Weeks said this, which influenced Myrtle: I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness or disease. And then went into her head. And I'm thinking of this now also with this numbers going up in our science and so many people being so concerned about being ill, to get back to the core. Yes, be careful, but know your God self, know your health. So she was so affected by this message by Dr. Weeks that she took up a practice for about 2 years. She asked her husband's permission because it was the 1800s if it was okay if she sat in the closet and prayed. But she put a chair in there with a picture of Jesus on it. And she quoted Bible passages about healing and affirmations about healing to Jesus, and pictured her body getting better and better and better. And it did. Charles wasn't too sure about the whole thing. But after 2 years, no more coughing, no more illness. She never had more than a slight headache or a little upset stomach until the day she passed at 86 years old in 1931. Powerful stuff, right? Of course, Charles, kind of the follower in this instance, took on that practice too, and year after year he was able to shave a little bit off the lift, the wooden lift on his shoe, from 4 inches down to a ½ inch at the end of his life. He lived beyond her. This is the mystical thing I've been just seeing in this. According to Tom Witherspoon, in a tape of his lecture that I've been listening to, the reason E.B. Weeks was in Kansas City, he was an employee of Emma Curtis Hopkins. Okay, now Emma's had been with Christian Science and she moved on and formed her own very large following and belief system. The reason he was in Kansas City where Myrtle and Charles could go see him was because he wasn't real popular in the community with Emma Curtis Hopkins. I guess it was a personality thing or something. So they kind of sent him out on the road. Because they sent him out on the road, Myrtle heard him. Charles started to follow this belief of self-healing, which led them to Emma Curtis Hopkins, which led them to start looking at more of these new thought belief systems that Christian Science and Divine Science, Noah Brooks, and that gave them the impetus to start this incredible movement called Unity. Mystical to me. Because had they heard that E.B. wasn't that popular with Emma Curtis Hopkins, they might not have taken that lesson he was teaching to heart. And don't we do that sometimes? We like the message, but maybe not the messenger. Or we hear something about a messenger, so we don't listen to their message. Myrtle was a poet. She wrote a lot of poetry. She wrote a lot of letters. She, like H. Emily Cady that we talk about a lot, that wrote Lessons in Truth, they weren't about personality. They didn't want people talking about them. They didn't. Charles didn't even put his name in the first magazine they published in 1889. But she wrote beautiful poems. And she wrote these little clips, I would call them definitions of what she thought. And I want to read the one about home. Home. Every home takes on the quality of the prevailing thought held in it. Think about our homes. What is the prevailing thought in your home? And if you're not the only one controlling that, you're gonna think, okay, yeah, but I've got a bunch of kids, or my great aunt stays with me and she's always talking about things that, whatever it is, we can use our positive energy to balance that. Every home takes on the quality of the prevailing thought held in it. And isn't that what we teach in Unity? To watch our thinking, to watch our words. When I was in ministerial school with Barbara King, Bishop Dr. Barbara King, beloved and passed, we had to watch every word that came out of our mouths or we would get checked on it. Not yelled at, but checked. It would be like, what did you just say? You talking about being sick? You're talking about being afraid? Why are you not talking about spirit in you? In a nice way, and we would watch her talk because of that. Maya Angelou is a good friend of Dr. Barbara. They spent time together. She said this: words are things. You must be careful about calling people out of their names, which is an expression, meaning talking about people behind their back or third person, using racial pejoratives and sexual pejoratives and all that ignorance. So this was probably 20, 30 years ago when she wrote this. Don't do that. Someday we will be able to measure the power of words. I think they are things. They get on the walls. They get in your wallpaper. Oh my goodness. Take that wallpaper down and wash. Oops, kind of hard to put it back up after you wash the wallpaper. They get in your rugs, in your upholstery, and in your clothes, and finally in you. And in this interview that went on from her quoting her previous words, Maya answered Oprah's question. I've seen you put people out of your house, Maya, for telling a racist joke. And you are not the least bit embarrassed about disrupting the whole room. She did that at a party once. She said to someone that said something negative, put on your hat and your coat and get out of my house. Maya said, I believe that a negative statement is poison. The air between you and me is filled with sounds and images. Take a moment, whether you're at home or here. The air between you and me is filled with sounds and images. Sounds and images. If that were not so, how is it that I can turn on a television right now and see what's happening in New York? That means sounds and images are in the air, crowded, jammed up like bats. Okay, Maya, you're a poet. Perhaps not the best analogy right now, but okay, bats in the air. And Oprah, she continued, I'm convinced that the negative has power. It lives, and if you allow it to perch in your house, in your mind, in your life, it can take you over. So when the rude or cruel thing is said, the lambasting, the gay bashing, the hate, I say, take it all out of my house. Those negative words climb into the woodwork and into the furniture, and the next thing you know, they'll be on my skin. Oprah went on, because Oprah's Oprah. Let's lighten this up a little bit. She said, the same is true with the positive spirit. Maya said, I believe so. So that was all coming at me in the last couple of days as I was putting this together. And I said, maybe I should change the title from Will, Mysticism, and Prayer to Hodgepodge, which is a category on Jeopardy. But I think it does all fit together. We have to be aware of our thinking because we think it, and we are in control of our thinking. Sometimes it's a little harder to be in control of our words and how we respond to people. We want to be kind. I don't know that I would march someone out of my house and give them their hat and their coat, but I might not invite them back. I might talk to them and say, hey, that's not okay. That's a very powerful statement to say to someone. That's not okay. In my house, in my energy, in my circumstances. And I think we can remember to look for the mystical, because sometimes the things that are happening around us, even though they might not seem all positive, have incredible positive possibility to them. We have gone through a very challenging year and a half. I don't think many of us would deny that. Our lives have changed in many ways, but also in many positive ways. And we're learning from it, and we're doing old things in new ways. And there's been sorrow, and there's been feelings of not being able to do what we want to do. And there's been worry. but we still get to choose how we react to the world, to others, to ourselves. We can sit in a closet, or in a corner, or lay on the bed, or outside, and we can hold the thoughts we want to hold, whether you're picturing Jesus or some other way shower, or the infinite spirit that's always with us, and talk to it, and say, even, help me with this. Help me with my struggle. Help me see health when everyone's talking dis-ease. Help me see joy. Help me see courage when so many are talking fear. This teaching is powerful. I highly suggest this book, or go to truthunity.net for so many of the archive things. It's Mark Hicks's site, and also to unity.org. There are so many teachings and writings, current and older, that can help us all see life in better and brighter ways. Why? Because life, no matter what it seems to be throwing at us, we're walking through it. We're doing better all the time. We're blessing others, and we have a purpose here. And I think, actually I know, your purpose, yours, your purpose, all of our purposes are bigger than we can possibly imagine right now. Because if that little girl sitting by the creek, losing nature and stepping into God's self, would have been told that she would change the world, I don't know. Maybe she would have said, yep, that's a fact. Yes, it's a fact that we have Jennifer here with us today, and she's going to grace us with another song. Let's give her a big round of applause. Hallelujah.
All right, I'm going to shift over now if you want to mute. What a great message. I really needed to hear that. Thank you very much. We are all always learning as we go, right? Always. There are two certain things in life. Life goes on, and we are always learning as it's going on. Here we go. Little bird was whistling in the ear, telling me you got to keep on moving. You got a lot to do, my dear. And my angel's singing me a song, telling me it's time to keep on moving. Love will never steer you wrong. And we learn as we go, falling as our light shines out brighter. And we learn as we go, falling as our consciousness grows higher, higher. Yeah. I read some books that gave a little clue, and I have to say that they've been helpful. I learned some stuff that I can use, and I'm praying each and every day, and I know that something hears me calling, guiding every step I take. And we learn as we go, falling as our light shines out brighter. And we learn as we go, falling as our consciousness grows higher. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, let's have another round of applause. Can you do the flying thing again?
Oh, yeah.
If you're at
That
home,
was
do you
so
want to do
great.
The
that?
butterfly,
Yeah, it's
transitioning.
Yeah, that's such a great time for that, but we could all do some
Transitioning
flying.
is a big thing this weekend.
And your
Lots of
shirt
transition
is
going on.
perfect for
Lots
that.
of
Looks like
transitions.
wings.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. We are so grateful. 18 months and we've kept our doors open. Thank you for your continued support. If you're new to Unity Athens, there are many ways to donate, to support us, to give. They're on our website at UnityAthens.com, PayPal, Easy Tithe, place to mail checks. Oh, we've got it up on the screen. And we bless, and as we give, we receive. This is basic concept. It took me many years to understand it, that as I gave, because I'd clutch, back when I was younger, I used to clutch. As I gave, I was like, oh my God, look at this coming in, and look at that coming in, and look at, this week, a doe and 3 fawns crossed the street right in front of me. I was like, oh my God, surprise and delight me, surprise and delight me. And a raccoon crossed the road. I haven't seen a raccoon in my neighborhood in 10 years. And a neighbor came over with some tomatoes. And another came over, surprised me with some bulbs that I'd asked about a year ago. What kind of plant was that? That's how the universe gives back to us as we give from our heart. It can be financial ways, it can be other ways. So we, and I always like, even though I donate separately, I always like to, when there's a basket, as Dale Worley, my dear minister friend, said, I want to put something in the basket, no matter what. So we hold our gifts, or the thought of our gifts, or the thought of our abundance over our heart, feeling that energy, not giving to receive, but giving for the joy of giving and knowing we will receive. And we say our love offering affirmation together. It's on the screen if you can see it. We'll say it a little slower in case you don't have video at home. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am so blessed. Thank you. Amen. And so it is. And we see those offerings. We see you all blessed. We thank you so much for being with us this morning. Please keep tuning in. We do some short videos now during the week when we are able. And please mark your calendar for the 19th at 6:45. And the doors will be open 6:30 if you want to join us in person for the wonderful presentation with our prayer chaplains. We're going to be praying, we're going to be lighting candles, we're going to be putting names in prayer boxes and sent on to World Day of Prayer also. It's going to be a beautiful evening and blessing and raising up our world. What song could we close out with, Jennifer?
How about Karen Drucker, I Am So Blessed?
That would be wonderful.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful.
Feel your blessings.
I am so blessed.
Send gratitude.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed.
Say thank you.
I am so grateful for all that I have.
We're grateful for you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
you, dear one, for the beautiful music. Thank you, dear ones, for being here in person today. Thank you, dear ones out in the world, for tuning in today. And we say namaste and blessings, and we end with this prayer. May you know every moment of every day that Spirit is with you, easing the way, leading the way, shining bright light on your path. Who you are and what you are matters. You make a difference in this world, each and every one of us. Namaste, and so it is. Thank you, Kevin. Round of applause as we close for Kevin.